Hey guys, Jason Timothy here, musicsoftwaretraining.com. And today I thought I would dive into melodies and how I kind of build upon a simple melody to make something that sounds more interesting in a pretty easy way. So let's just go ahead and get started and you'll see what I'm talking about here. So let's just make a 4-bar loop here. So I'm just going to highlight Command Shift M. That'll create a MIDI loop here. Control if you're using a PC. And let's see. Let's pull on a wavetable and let's turn this on here. All right, cool. We'll just start here for now. Start with a really basic sound. So what I usually do is just kind of start with 1 bar and then I expand. So I have no idea what I'm making here. So all right, so let's just we'll just go with that, and then we'll duplicate this. All right, and let's get a little reverb on here. All right, cool. So now what I want to do is to kind of build upon that. So let's go ahead and start with duplicating this. Just Command D. And let's change the sound just a little bit. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all the notes, and I'm going to reverse the notes so that it plays it in the opposite order, and then I'll bring this down a bit so it doesn't overtake the initial, and see what it sounds like layered, because we're working in the same key because we're using the same notes. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, I'm gonna back off the reverb a little bit here. All right, cool. So now let's do this. Let's go ahead and resample this. To here. Oh. We'll arm that track there. And we're just going to highlight this. All right. And then what I want to do is reverse this. By reversing the audio, we're actually creating almost like reverse sounds. I just hit the R key. And now we've got right? So let's layer it with the first one. And let's turn this up a little bit here, give it a little gain. Oh. Do that. And let's add an auto pan to this. And then let's get rid of some of these lower frequencies. So we've got I think what I'll try to do, let's pitch this up an octave. And we'll change this to Complex Pro. And this will just make it easier to hear those frequencies. All right, cool. And let's turn these up a little bit. Great. Let's try inverting this here. So let's going to duplicate this once more. Actually, no. What I will do instead is let's do 2x. Oops. Times 2. There we go. Now it's going to play it at half the time. And we can play with the tones a little bit. And let's, instead of reverb, let's use a little delay here. And we'll do a little ping pong as well. And then let's put it all together. All right, I think this one I want to wash in a little bit of reverb along with the delay, or at least let's put the reverb after the delay, and let's Sounds a little bit more like a pad. And actually, by making this above 50%, it can accent the delay so it'll change the timing a little bit. There we go, nice kind of dreamy sort of sound. And let's see what we've got. And then here, let's EQ this. Kind of more like a background. So there you go. How long did that take to just start off with a simple melody and start building it by just using reverse and invert and reversing audio? And there's loads more that you could do to keep creating interest, changing the octaves, changing the timing. We could have a double time. In fact, let's go ahead and add a double time just to show what's possible. So let's do that with this part. We'll just call this like the counter melody. All right, so let's duplicate this. And we will, I think we hit divide. Yeah, divide, and then we get and let's add an auto filter. Let's use one of these more interesting filters, and we'll add a little bit of drive. And how about something like this? Oh, I guess okay. There we go, some interesting movement, and back in. And then what you can do is you could come in and you could automate the volume so that different parts come up and down, and it just kind of morphs and evolves in a lot of interesting ways. So you could kind of put your focus on one part of this collective at a time and give each part kind of its moment, and it will really give a lot of life to this simple loop. So hopefully this gives you some sort of inspiration on how you can develop a really simple melody and turn it into something that sounds much more interesting. So if you like these sort of videos from me, make sure to like and subscribe and share it with friends, and I'll speak to you guys most likely tomorrow. Take care.